Good evening, viewers. Welcome to my channel, Census 2027 Learning Hub. So, we will be today we will be studying about the CMMS portal, which is one of the most important portal in our digital census 2027. So, our first slide is mastering the CMMS portal. Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are stepping into something truly massive, a totally unprecedented operation. I want you to think of yourself not just as an administrator, but as a commanding general preparing for the nationwide deployment of the 2027 census. Your headquarters for this incredible mission, a brand new digital command center that's going to completely change the way we capture the story of billion people. Let's get your command center up and running. Here's our roadmap for today. We will be welcoming you to the CMMS, managing portal users, mapping out those house listing blocks, forming supervisor circles, allocating your field team, and finally getting those IDs and appointments issued. Let's dive right in. Welcome to CMMS, Digital Command Center. CMMS, a centralized web-based digital platform to plan, manage, execute, and monitor census activities. So, what exactly is the CMMS? Well, it stands for Census Management and Monitoring System. If you have been around for previous census, you know the drill, right? Mountains of paper, chaotic manual processes, endless physical tracking. Well, you can kiss off all that goodbye. The CMMS is a centralized, completely web based platform that brings everything planning, execution, and monitoring under one digital roof. When you go when you log into this portal, you are unlocking some massive operational upgrades. We are talking end-to-end operational management, a super strict role-based user hierarchy, standardized training workflows, and get this near real-time visibility and monitoring. Eventually, this portal puts you completely in the driver's seat for your specific jurisdiction. Moving right along to section 2, managing census portal users. Think of this as drafting your players. Now, this system runs on a very strict user hierarchy based on administrative levels. Super admins have the national control, state admins handle their specific states, and charge admins they deal with the granular local details. But here's the golden rule for creating users. You can create users exactly one level below you. Oh, and if someone is marked as a general user instead of an admin, they just get view access. They can watch the progress, but they have absolutely zero power to change the data. Security is seriously tight from the get go. You will enter your ID, password, and a captcha, but listen up. Be careful here. A maximum of 5 incorrect attempts will instantly lock the account, and no, you can't just refresh and try again. You are locked out for exactly 30 minutes unless your superior admin jumps in to manually bail you out. Okay, when it's time to build your field team, you have got two routes. For specialized roles, you will use single user creation, just typing it in manually. But at the charge admin level, you are dealing with a massive wave of field workers. You are definitely going to want bulk user creation. You can upload up to 999 enumerators and supervisors in one go using an Excel template. That Excel template is already there in that bulk upload section, where you need to download it, and then you need to enter all the values of enumerators and supervisors, from name, their designation, their mobile number, email IDs, and as the column name in the Excel, we have in red and black. Red means they are mandatory, and black column names are non-mandatory. Alright, section 3, mapping house listing blocks, drawing the game board. So we have got our users, our digital troops are ready. But how exactly do you chop up the massive physical map of the country into into bite size, manageable pieces for them to tackle? Well, we use what are called house listing blocks, creating these house listing blocks or HLBs is a pretty specific house listing blocks is a pretty specific four-step workflow. First, the charge officer inputs locality names and the estimated population. Second, the system does the heavy lifting and auto generates sequential HLB numbers for you. Third, you update the description and adding landmarks and street names so your team does not get lost out there. And finally, you click freeze. Most importantly, we should know that these are some of the details like estimated populations and number of HLBs, which is very much important while filling this sheet. I literally cannot emphasize this enough. Clicking freeze is irreversible. Existing blocks cannot be deleted or modified once they are frozen. It is absolute must to protect the integrity of the census map. It is again and again reiterated that you need to freeze once the entire Excel is finalized. Means you need to provide the estimated population and then you need to give the number of HLBs which will be present. Once the number of HLBs and number of HLBs and the estimated population are fixed for rural, that is villages, and for urban it is word, then we will click the freeze button. Before that we can update it, but once the updation is complete and our sheet is completely finalized, only then we need to click the freeze because the freeze option is completely irreversible. Now, what happens if you realize you made a mistake and you absolutely must add an HLB after you have already hit that freeze button? Well, the system does allow it, but it's going to be tackled on to the very end of your list with brand new sequential number. As we have already discussed that the HLB number which you will be getting is in sequential number like 4-digit characters 0001, 0002, 0003 and so on. But let's say we have freezed it. Once we have freezed it, the an HLB number is already given to all the HLBs, and after that if we want to give add one more HLB, then the last sequence number which is allocated to an HLB, the next number will be allocated to the newly added HLB. So say your village had block 1 through 8. Your new block it becomes number 9. Even if it is physically sits right next to block number 1, still it will get block number 9, that is 0009. Let's roll right into section 4, forming supervisory circles. Grouping your squads. When you start grouping your HLBs, there is a golden rule you have got to follow. A supervisory circle should consist of approximately 6 contiguous house listing blocks. As already mentioned that a supervisory circle will have 6 HLBs and each HLB will be allocated to an enumerator. So in turn, a supervisor will be allocated to an supervisory circle, and in turn one supervisor will be commanding over the 6 enumerators, and each enumerator will be looking after one HLB block. Now I say approximately because while 6 is the ideal target for a balanced workload, it can be slightly more or slightly less depending on the actual terrain and population density of the area. That said, the system definitely has some strict boundaries. Supervisory circle lines can cross village limits, and the HLV numbers inside a circle does not have to be perfectly sequential if the map dictates otherwise. But there is one absolutely unbending demand the portal makes. Here, house listing block 0001, it's 0001, must never ever leave supervisory circle 001. Honestly, don't even try it. The software simply won't let you. This means the supervisory circle, first supervisory circle 0001, 001 will have the first HLB 0001. Okay, the first HLB will always be allocated to the first supervisory circle. Grouping this together in the portal is incredibly easy. You just pull up your list of frozen house listing blocks, check the boxes next to the ones you want to group and click add to the supervisor circles. It literally takes complex territorial management and turns it into just a few simple clicks. A real game changer. While allocating an HLB, we need to create a first we need to create a supervisor circle. In the supervisor circle, we need to add one by one HLBs. As we know, in one supervisor circle there will be 6 HLBs. So from the we will mark the tick of the on the on all the six HLBs, and then we will try to add to the supervisor circle. After adding, we need to allocate a supervisor for that supervisor circle, and thus one supervisor will be looking after 6 HLBs. In turn, 6 enumerators will be under one supervisor. Moving on to section 5, allocating your field team, the deployment phase. Okay, we have got our beautifully drawn map. We have our supervisor circles formed and ready to go. So the practical question every single administrator is asking right about now is, who exactly goes where? How do you pair the person to the pavement? You are going to do this using the HLB allocation card view. The demonstration is fantastic. It gives you a crystal clear summary of your supervisor circle. Right at a glance, you can see how many blocks exist in a circle, how many are allocated to an enumerator, and how many are still unallocated. You just click right into a circle, open a drop down list, and start assigning your enumerators to their specific blocks. Now here is an absolutely crucial point from the guidelines. An enumerator can only report to one supervisor. Period. An enumerator can totally be assigned multiple blocks to count, but all of those blocks must fall within the exact same supervisory circle. This guarantees a clear, unambiguous reporting structure out in the field, no crosswires allowed. And finally, section 6, issuing IDs and appointments, handling out the official gear. So the enumerators and supervisors IDs and appointment letters will be generated in PDF, which needs to be signed by the charge officer and then distribute it in hard copy to all those enumerators and supervisors. In those IDs and appointment letters, there is a QR code. That QR code, if you scan, then you will get that verified by the government of India verified certificate. Okay. There are two vital documents you need to generate from the portal before deployment. First up is the appointment letter, which contains a detailed PDF map of their specific territory, and definitely make sure you know this. The appointment letter requires your physical, manual seal and signature by the charge officer. The second document is their official ID card. This one already includes their printed photo, validity period, and your digital signature right from the system. So you need to attach, if this photo is not available, you need to attach the photo and then get it signed by the charge officers. To get this, you just head over to the supervisory ID appointment menu, select your field workers and click download. You can actually generate these essential documents in 16 different languages directly from the portal, which ensures your whole team is officially documented, informed and completely ready to deploy. So think about it. Apart from this, there are two registers. One is called charge registers, one is called town registers or village registers. There also they need to fill the data, and once it is filled, it has to be certified by the charge officers. And two other menus are there. One is map upload by the supervisors and another one is map upload by the enumerators. Enumerators will be visiting the different sites, and then he will be drawing a handwritten map by visiting different households of his own HLB. Once the map will be ready, he will bring it to a supervisor. Supervisor will create a consolidated map by analyzing the 6 enumerators maps, and then both the scanned copy of all the maps of enumerators along with supervisors map, blank map, or supervisors handwritten map will be uploaded to the CMMS portal. So different separate menus are there for uploading the maps, and the village register, town register, and charge registers are there. There you need to mention the uh, enumerators and supervisors remuneration amount or training amount. These are some of the fields that need to be filled, along with the locality name or locality name. They need to mention it in the charge registers. So you are ready to execute the 2027 census. You have drafted your users, frozen your maps, grouped your circles, allocated your enumerators, and issued their credentials. You have mapped the terrain and deployed your digital army. The CMMS has given you the ultimate command center. So you are ready to execute the 2027 census and capture the story of a billion people. This portal is waiting for you. Good luck out there. So I hope you like my video. If you want more such videos, then please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get the next videos as it gets published. Thank you.